Hello everyone, welcome to Redbus channel. In this video, look at the latest news about the $100,000 fee for OPT. That is it real or is it rumor? So this is what you see across the international media. There is one, article that came in Wall Street Journal, which is this, and there are like hundreds of them. If you just search the internet, it's like pretty much everything is clickbait. India Today, Business Standard, South China Post, Korea's Jung and Daily, NDTV. I mean, you can just look at them. So this is what has been happening across the media in the last 24 hours. It's kind of crazy if you look at the kind of focus and why it has got so much attention. So that's what we will cover in this video on what is real, and what is not, and what is actually has really come out, and why it's been spreading like wildfire. That's what we'll see. And the reason for this news to spread so much or so much attention is because OPT is such a big thing. If you just look at the numbers, the gravity of the problem, right? OPT, out of the 1.17 million international students, about 300,000 students, as per Open Door, the latest report, right? About close to 300,000 people, 300,000 students are on OPT. This could be our OPT, STEM OPT, and the significant growth of it is in, you're over 21%, right? And all the students, right, basically after they graduate, they use this OPT to work. Essentially, think of it like internship, right? Or practical work experience after graduate for 1 year or 3 years, depending on your degree and if you're eligible for STEM OPT and all of that. So this is a huge thing because without this, there is no incentive for international students to get that experience after their study. So that's why there is this much of focus on this. And let's look at the crux of what actually happened, right? So on July 30th, one Wall Street Journal exclusive article came out that said anonymous, right? And all it tells is people familiar with the matter, they don't even name any person. And they don't really say if it's news or not. So they just say somebody familiar with the matter saying that they're going to attach $100,000 fee for OPT. And when they ask a spokesperson, they say no policy should be considered final until formally announced. At DHS, we are always striving to have having conversations about how to use all the tools in our arsenal to protect the integrity of our legal immigration system. So what you see is exactly taken from today's print edition, July 31st print edition of Wall Street Journal. The screenshot is actually taken from Wall Street Journal, today's print edition. You can check that. So it doesn't even tell who actually who would pay. It doesn't have any details as such. Again, this is very, very much like, somebody is talking here and there, and I heard about it and I'm going to write about it. Again, the gravity of this is because it came in Wall Street Journal. So that's why everybody is just talking about it and everybody is actually doing it, right? It's just a report that's an idea that is being discussed. It's not an announcement or not a rule. And the reality is that, right, dozens of outlets ran the story, but they're all reporting the same, single Wall Street Journal article that came out. So think about it like this, right? One report and 50 headlines is the illusion that there are 50 confirmations of the same. So one just person said that this is what I read, and everybody around that also telling, oh, they said that, and they're creating their own versions of it, right? So, and it's still that even that one is unconfirmed report. So that's the reality of what this news means. And we look at what actually usually happens when something like this comes out, right? So what happens usually is, let's look at the facts versus rumors, right? So the panic is, there is $100 fee. I know. I mean, I saw some Instagram influencers, somebody was like 3.7 million, some guy, with bald head. He was just telling, like, oh my God, this is going to be like impacting all Indian students. You can't come. Just creating unnecessary fear mongering among students when there is nothing official that really came out is just really getting clickbait titles, just trying to get that, right? So let's not get there, but let's just look at the facts, right? So they're saying that there is $100 fee right now. There is a new rule and it's already there. Somebody proposed it. Students have to pay $100,000 to work. It starts immediately. My OPT plans are canceled. So these are all what people are hearing and writing all over the internet, right? But the facts are, and what's confirmed, there is no fee that exists and there is nothing in effect as of now. As of now, as we record it, right, as we post it, there is no rule. There is no official thing in the Federal Register. There is only one thing that says Wall Street Journal says it's unclear who even to. It doesn't even tell anything, right? Just, I heard from somebody. That's what it actually means. And there is no effective date. OPT is not changed. Nothing is. So that's the facts actually. What exists as of today as we post this video. And now, in general, what happens when a real rule has to come in, right? So an immigration rule to become a reality, these are the steps. So first, what happens? The discussion happens. Agencies say, we're going to do this thing, and we will do X, Y, Z things. So currently, we are at these privately ideas are somebody is talking about ideas. It's not even public, right? So that's what we are right now at this stage. After that, what happens is there is a document that's created, and then it is actually sent to somebody for approval, which is OMB sends for approval. And then what's done? Then it actually published into something called a federal register to get notice for public comments, essentially, right? So it should be published here. There is nothing as of now, just to clarify that. So it comes there. And then you get a comment period of 30 to 60 days after that, because this is going to be creating a huge impact of economical impact over X million dollars. It has to go through OMB, and they can't just announce a final rule, right? That's why it has to go through some of these steps. They can't bypass them, right? And after that, the comments happen, then the final rule published, and then all of these things happen. So there are a lot of steps. There are actually 9 steps. We have put a link in the description. You can read that. We wrote an article on that and what actually looks like. Again, courts can block it actually before it even appears, because that's how it is, right? Now, if it really appears, the first step that you would see that is in Reginfo, where they have some kind of outline on this, or it comes in Federal Register. So as of now, what we have in in the regulatory priorities is practical training. This is the only thing that's out there, and the priority is of to February 2027. That's the priority that they have for NPRM. It doesn't have any details of whatsoever here, right? So still long way to go. And again, they're thinking about doing it, but there is nothing out there yet. So again, we may see something tomorrow, but as of now, as we post the video, there's nothing there in this. And somebody may make an announcement, but as of now, there's nothing out there. Now, most of there is the H1B 100K fee that was been going on in the court for some time and has been struck down. So just to give you background or catch up if you haven't been aware of it, right? So near 100K fee that was H1B, it was tried and courts kind of killed it, right? So a federal judge just struck it down after it's an unlawful fee. Congress can never authorize it. And then it went to appeals court, and then they also struck down. So result is basically currently it's actually blocked, right, by courts. And for this, there is a slight variation of this because OPT was not really was created by regulation, not by really like Congress. Kind of, it's kind of, in that area, right? So this gives DHS somewhat flexibility than the H1B to how change, because initially it was 12 months, then they added 24 months. It was in the middle, there was 17 months. So there are some, again, they have to go through this comment period, all of that to do manual. But even though if they can't really just drop something like that, telling that, it'll just go to courts and say arbitration, it'll be saying arbitrary and capricious, that it'll just go away, right? So for H1B, something like this happened, court struck down. So even if something would happen tomorrow, it will go to courts and it will just get struck down. So it's not going to just happen just like that, right? So for students who are worried, or for prospective students who are worried, as of now, stay calm. There's nothing about OPT that has changed, and do not change your plans if you're studying or if you're planning to study until something comes out. You just continue to, because until you see something at the federal register, there's nothing that is really concrete. So just watch the federal register, and again, follow our channel. We usually report all of these things directly from the horse's mouth or the official sources. We don't really try to do any clickbaity things, because this is somebody's life they're planning, right? We don't want to do titles that just going to like mislead somebody, right? So keep a perspective and don't pay anybody. And again, people say that, oh, if you do apply now, educational consultant may do something, I'm going to get admission. So many things can happen, right? But in short, don't really panic. As it stands today, there is no $100,000 fee. There is no rule. There is no official rule. There is no law. There is nothing in federal register. All of this traces to one Wall Street Journal report citing anonymous sources, which is that's creating all this panic. DHS did not confirm this. White House officials did not confirm it. It's currently in idea stage. There's a long way to go. So just stay calm and continue to do your work. Right. Again, thank you for watching. Do subscribe for getting regular updates so that you can see what's happening. Thank you.